Hello, Market Irish Football Fan TV. This is the after-match reaction. Republic of Ireland nil, Ukraine 1. Ukraine's second string. I'm joined by Gary. We've just sat through the whole game. We've had our chances. They've had theirs. But overall, your reaction?
I'm disappointed, Paul. As you said, it was their second string. They made 10 changes from the team that beat Wales on Sunday. And I think they were better than us. And unfortunately, they deserved to win. Yeah, we had our chances, particularly maybe in the last 15 minutes. We had a bit of tempo. I know we hit the bar through Shane Duffy, but they looked like they had another gear. And it was their, it said 10 changes. And it's very disappointing for me. It's been a very disappointing start to this Nations League campaign. 2-1-0 defeats.
Yeah, we're just kind of looking at it like the only changes that were made tonight. Cyrus Christie came in, and Jason Knight came in, and Coleman went out, and Parrott went out. So, I thought more changes maybe would have been made, considering he's kind of looking at it like a tournament type. Obviously, the result the other day. Again, I think this formation is killing him. I really do. I think. Again, we spoke about a second string team. Like, if we maybe put out a third midfielder in there, maybe we dominate midfield and maybe have that player who can break in through the lines. I mean, people the other day, a lot of people were complaining about Hendrick. I thought he played okay, especially in the first half. Maybe died off in the second half, but Cullen again as well. I thought he died off in the second half just with his energy, which is naturally going to happen. The two of them are doing everything out there. And, our attacking midfielders didn't give us a whole lot. Benny looked like he was carrying an injury throughout the game. He just, when he usually kind of gets off with the running, he usually gliding along, but today he just looked kind of leggy, or I don't know what it was. It just looked like he hadn't got the pace that he normally had, or I don't know, maybe he's had too much time off and too much, I wasn't going to say partying, but he enjoyed himself too much since he's been home, because he just doesn't look like the player he did back in March, with the running and stuff. And I'm just kind of looking around, and no one really in the second half, when we needed someone to step up and take the ball by the horns, no one really did. I appreciate Duffy hit the crossbar and Knight maybe should have scored with the chance at the end there. But for me, the only person who looked like he wanted to grab the game by the scruff of the neck was Nathan Collins, and he was back at, centre back.
Yeah, Nathan Collins for me. I know Jason Knight was given the man of the match, and I'm assuming that was the Irish man of the match. But for me, Nathan Collins was by head and shoulders our best player. He's to the manner born, and he really looked a class act. But as you say, yeah, Chidozie Ogbene wasn't one of his better games. He has had a long, hard season. Maybe he's carrying a knock. It finished very well for Rotherham, obviously getting promotion. But yeah, and I do think CJ Hamilton and Michael Obafemi made a difference when they came on. And you're talking about changes. Yeah, we really only made one change because Seamus Coleman was injured. So the only decision was he played Jason Knight, who I thought did very well, instead of Troy Parrott. I think he'd be looking at Michael Obafemi and CJ Hamilton to start on Saturday, because they made a difference when they came on. But it was just, going back to the formation. Yeah, I agree with you, because we seem to be keeping the ball, and the same again on Saturday. Without a purpose, we didn't really seem to have a purpose of what we're going to do with it. And you're talking about someone getting in between the lines. Looking at Will Smallbone for the under-21s, is he an option? Maybe next season. Hopefully he'll get more game time with Southampton in the Premier League. We don't have a lot of players in the Premier League squads, but yeah, I think we need to do something for Saturday, because what we've been doing so far in these two games has not been working.
You're kind of looking at like someone like Festi Abazelli, who didn't get on again tonight. What's he got to do to get in this team? Because we're clearly crying out for real pace down the wings as well. I appreciate Enda Stevens. I was probably not negative towards him, but I did think he didn't play that well against Armenia. I thought he'd done better tonight. McLean, when he came on, he again didn't really impress. He didn't get much of the ball now, in fairness to him, but he didn't really impress. And Alan Brown didn't really impress me on the other side either. But CJ Hamilton and Michael Obafemi, as you say, they did make an impact, which is what we have asked for from players to come on and make it. And I'd probably say they'd made a case to maybe start. Obafemi looked far better than he did against Armenia coming off the bench. He looked sharp. He won us a few balls. He set up a chance for Shane Duffy, I think, off the one that hit off the crossbar. And he just looked lively as well. I remember he won us a corner down this end as well. So there's positives to take from that, but overall from the performance and the two defeats so far, it is getting a bit worrying that we're not showing any signs of scoring again, and we're not showing any signs of winning again. And there's going to be a lot of people, and I'm sure there's a lot of people already in the comments when this goes out that are going to be saying Stephen Kenny out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd actually put that to bed. I thought last November, I mean, look, we had a fantastic draw here against Portugal. We went to Luxembourg and won 3-0. Stephen, there was a bit of stalling, whatever, but the contract was signed and everything. And I thought that was done and dusted, and Stephen Kenny was going to at least start the qualifying campaign for the Euros in 2024. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think it is going to come back into question. One thing I did notice was in the 89th minute, the fans in the singing section behind the goal were still singing "Walking in a Kenny Wonderland." So the fans in the stadium certainly gave their opinion.
Yeah, it's just, I know that the people in the media are already, going to be back out the knives, and I suppose the journalists as well in many cases. But you're kind of looking at it going, at the moment, until we start winning games, you're always going to get that. It's a results-based business, and if you're not getting results on the pitch, and again, I'll just go back to it. I mean, we've lost to Armenia and a second-string Ukraine team. You had a look at these two games before we kicked off our nations. We probably would have been targeting these two games, considering obviously Ukraine having the grueling playoff with Wales, that they were probably going to rest players. So we should have been looking at these games as winnable games. Not that we're definitely going to win, but winnable games. And Armenia. And we've lost both.
Yeah, look, we should have definitely won in Yerevan. Now, we didn't deserve to win, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, you're going away to Armenia, you'd expect to get 3 points. I would expect, certainly expect Ukraine to win there, and Scotland probably as well. So that was a bit of disappointment. Ukraine, yeah, look, I mean, okay, we didn't know the result. But once they beat Scotland, once they had that grueling playoff, as you say, against Wales, they were going to make some changes. They were going to rest players. It gave us a fantastic opportunity. And I don't know what it says about us that they feel they can make 10 changes and still get the 3 points. But it's very look. We can't make any bones about it. It's two very, very disappointing results.
Well, I did the opposition preview with Andrew from Zorya Londonsk, and he was actually saying to us that the Ukraine team that he was going to put out would have been as strong as the first 11. That's what he said. Now, I didn't see any weaknesses. We pressed them early on. I thought we did actually get at them very early in the game, and we looked as though if we had to capitalise on one of those, we did start like bright and aggressive in our pressing. And then that just kind of, after about 20 minutes to half an hour, that kind of fizzled out, and it was just them making chances. We were getting the odd chance here and there, but mainly they were starting to dominate. And then in the second half, they got their goals, not long into the second half, sorry. And from that point, both sides had chances. I would say it was a fairly even game, but then again, it's an even game against a second-string team again, and we're not scoring goals, and we're not looking like other than Shane Duffy popping up here and there with chances, and I know Jason Knight got one towards the ends, but no one really is looking like if they're in that box that they're going to score. Just to finish off.
Yeah, look, I did think we were the better side for the first 20-30 minutes, as you said, and I actually said it on Instagram at half time, but they finished the half very strongly, and we were the ones that needed half time. And they came out in the second half and the same thing. Goal, maybe we were a bit unlucky. It was a bad goal to concede. It was a free kick almost on the. It was on the touchline, and it travelled a long way to get in. It bounced. The bounce seemed to deceive Caoimhín Kelleher. But even after that, they had more conviction about them. Their tempo was better. Their passing was better. And for me, they looked the better side. And you can say, look, if you look at the stats, it was a reasonably even game. I think we had 4 efforts on target each. I think it was 14 chances each. And we could have nicked it. But maybe like the Serbia game last September, when we probably nicked a point we mightn't have deserved. But yeah, I don't think we can. I wouldn't be arguing with the result. Frankly, I thought they deserved it.
Well, on that note, I suppose let us know your thoughts in the comments. We're quite disappointed. I'm sure the lads are disappointed down below. Gary's disappointed. I'm sure you guys are too, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people with hateful comments in the comments, either directed at us or directed at the team. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and we will have more content coming your way. You can check that out as well. Speak to you soon.